Welcome. I'm Monmouth County Commissioner Director Tom Arnone, and I'm joined with
County Clerk Christine Hanlon.
And welcome to Monmouth Talking 250 podcast. What a great time we have here.
Yes, it's so much fun to talk about everything going on with our celebration for America's birthday. And today we have a really special guest today.
Yeah, this is great. I mean, we're doing so many things as co-chair of Monmouth 250, and whether it's history with Hanlon and Arnone, going to speak at different engagements, but then this one here, the podcast that we've been doing, is really special because we're really getting that one-on-one with some really knowledgeable and historians and history people here in Monmouth County. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes. And you know what? It's so interesting that we can talk to people who have roots in our county that go back years and years and years
So
and years.
much. It's amazing. It's amazing. Some of the stories that we've been hearing, I'm just marveled by, and it's been extremely enrichment.
Yes, and today we have Mike Clayton here, who we know as a friend for many years. And what I didn't know was that your family goes back in Monmouth County over 300 years.
Correct.
And that is unbelievable. So we wanted to have you here to talk to you about some of your family history that, you know what, when I thought about some of the history that you informed us of, you really could make a movie out of it. It really it has hit, every important time period throughout our country's history. It's just so fascinating. So we're excited to have you here today.
And you know what's
Well,
also very unique, Mike, and obviously we've known each other for a long time.
Yes.
And I never knew all this history that went back with you there. But what I really find like marveling about it, after you presented and we went back a little with all the history, you personally and your family there, and then saw how you were still involved. That's really special, because as history went on, you still stayed involved personally, even in your own town of Wall Township.
Yes, I think maybe it's in the blood.
I think it is.
I think a lot of the relatives were involved with government, and I later became the mayor of Wall, and I joined the fire department. I'm still a 47-year member in Wolf Township Fire District 2.
Wow.
I think that volunteerism was just inside you.
Yes. You know what? It's so interesting, too, because, Director Arnone and I, we are Italian ancestry. We both full-blood Italian?
Full blood.
I'm full-blood Italian.
Yeah,
so
full blood.
my ancestors came from Italy. So
Mine too.
I only
Mine too.
go back so far
Yes.
here
Yes.
in America. And same with Director
too.
Arnone. But to think about, how far your family goes back
Here.
right here in Monmouth County
Yes.
is just fascinating. So it's 334 years that your family goes back in
Yes.
Monmouth County. So why don't you tell us a little about sort of the first Clayton that ended up
I mean,
here.
we don't have the
Monmouth
time to go back 334 years, but we
But
can
we
maybe
want to know about that first one.
exactly
Yes.
that first one, the middle one, and the last one.
Okay, well, there we go. Well, our first one was David Clayton, and who married Amy Cook. They had come into Newport, Rhode Island, and immigrated. There was called the New Rhode Island Monmouth County Society, and they were immigrating to Monmouth County area, and they
Interesting.
arrived in Monmouth County in 1691. And
Wow.
this David Clayton, with his uncle John, bought a vast amount of land, about 270 acres, from George Keith, who was a land surveyor. He's well known out of Philadelphia. And this was along the Burlington Path, the old Indian Trail,
Right.
which is now our county 547, I believe.
Yeah,
Exactly.
we were talking about the Indian Trail,
537,
the Native American
547. I think
Trail.
it's
Yes,
With some of our
537,
other,
you're correct. Yes.
with some of our other guests, and how 537 was
Yep.
one of the Native American trails. So
Yeah, and there's actually an old map reflecting this purchase of this property from George Keith, and showing it on the south side of the Burlington Path. And currently it's right by Moore's Tavern as a landmark.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Along Shank Road there.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's
Wow.
Stillwell's Corner.
that's
You know what's
amazing.
amazing when you think back, and not to interrupt you there on that, but it's amazing the way ancestors of yours and others were able to come here and buy hundreds and hundreds of acres, and it really, I mean, it wasn't a big effort to be able to do financially as like today. That's why it's amazing when you hear that, oh, we bought 300 acres, we bought 400 acres, we bought 284 acres.
Yeah.
You know, that was like,
You got to go out west to do that now.
yes, it's amazing.
If you can even do it.
Yes.
So as things evolved, obviously there was a lot of amount of family members
Yes.
that reside here, which obviously involved larger and larger, and the tentacles went farther and farther out.
As we were discussing, they had large families to run the farms, and they'd have 10, 12 children. And so you end up marrying into a lot of the other old family names around Monmouth County: the Throckmortons, the Okersons, Thompsons, Johnsons, Emmons, Hankinsons, Matthews, Combs, Reeds, and so our families grew, and these are old names that you see on homes and streets
Yes.
in the
You do.
area. Yeah, and it all connects it all.
Almost
which-
every name that
It
you
comes
just said,
back
I
to the
recognized.
Claytons.
and yeah.
And you mentioned the Reeds. Is that the Reed family that owned the property where the Hall of Records is now? Is that the same Reed family?
The Reed family, yes, that was our Rebecca Clayton, David's daughter, married one of the Reeds, whose family did own the land and he donated that land to where the Monmouth County Courthouse, the original Monmouth County Courthouse was.
Wow.
Isn't
That's
that? Yeah.
fascinating.
Wow, that's unbelievable.
Where
Yeah.
the tentacles go.
Yes.
Wow. It's just, and David also, his family, his son John, this is significant because we are celebrating America's birthday, and one of the important things with the Revolutionary War was the Battle of Monmouth.
Yes.
And the Clayton family married into the Rhea family or Ray family.
The Ray,
The Ray family.
Yes, Catherine Ray.
And that's the current site of the Visitors Center at Monmouth Battlefield.
Correct.
Right? Wow.
Yes.
It's
So a
unbelievable.
lot of when I started this research, I never knew how far it, stretched into all these areas.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow,
All
I tell you,
over the
when
county.
I met you, we were both. I was an elected officer in a town, and you were in your town. There, did I not know the historian that you were, and all the history that you had here? It's amazing.
Yes, and the members of the Clayton family served as soldiers in the Revolutionary War.
Yes, it was. Some of the family did, but some were loyalists as well. And it caused divisions in the families. They,
Wow.
it was our own
Family
Monmouth County
members
had their own
fighting
civil
family
war.
members.
They,
Yeah.
they did. The families were split over who to, support at that time. Yeah.
Yes, and one, example of that is connected to the Claytons, and they're still standing here in Monmouth County, the Taylor Butler House up
Correct.
in Middletown, and there's a connection to the Clayton family to that particular
Yes.
structure, right?
Correct. David Clayton married Esther Taylor, whose father was Edward Taylor, who owned a Marl Pit Hall and the Taylor homes.
And
Yeah.
what's so fascinating, and it's amazing that the Monmouth County Historical Association has preserved these structures so people can go visit these places today. And I will note that at Marl Pit Hall, there's an exhibit called, I believe it's Under the Floorboards, where there is an exhibit about, slaves who happen to have lived there. And also, Edward Taylor was a loyalist,
Correct.
right?
That's
So
correct. And he.
you always forget about those loyalists that were here. You always focus on the patriots, but
You do, but again, his family was split, and he lost a lot of fortune after the war because of that, being loyal to the British side of the.
yeah. So sorry.
No, go ahead, please.
Many people don't realize that there were these laws called, confiscation laws at that time. And interestingly, my county archives has a lot of original documents from that time period. And if you were loyal to the British Crown, your property was subject to being taken
Yes.
by the new government.
It was, and a lot of the loyalists were promised if they won, they were going to receive money from the British government and that never came to
Didn't
fruition.
pan out.
Yeah.
Thank goodness. Thank goodness. So I mean, your family really just kind of touches, so many aspects of our history, in so many ways because of branching out and marrying into the families that were like stretched all over the county.
Yes.
And it just seemed like eventually they all connected to some sort of history in different regions of the county. Whether it was, like you said, the Reeds,
Yeah.
whether it was, in Wall Township, in Howell Township, in Ocean Township, I think there's something.
Yeah, that's fascinating to me because I live in Ocean Township.
Yes.
And in Ocean Township, we have the Eden Woolley House, which is now the Ocean Township Historical Museum.
Yes.
And, that house was situated on, today's, Highway 35 and Deal Road. And I was part of sort of the fundraising effort to get that home moved, further east on Deal Road so that it could be preserved and become the museum. But I had no idea that this was connected to the Clayton family.
Nor did I. The more I researched, the more I found the connections to all these different families, and that was my Cornelius Clayton, my fourth great grandfather. He married Catherine Rogers. It was the daughter of Benjamin Rogers and Deborah Woolley, and the Woolley family she's a direct descendant that goes back to the Woolley house that is now the Historical Society for Ocean Township.
Yeah, it's just fascinating, all of these connections. So when I was talking to you about your history a little bit and looking through, the different people who are connected to different things, the Hindenburg connection caught my eye because, that was such a big moment in history. And I think part of the Claytons were present at that time when the Hindenburg, like truly this could be a movie about the Claytons.
The Cornelius Clayton's, his grandsons, Carlton and Raymond Pettit, were actually firefighters in Lakewood, and Lakewood responded to the Hindenburg disaster, yes.
It's truly,
yeah.
It's truly
Wow, that's amazing.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Even during the Revolutionary War, David Clayton's home was burned by the British as they marched to Monmouth Battlefield that day.
But after the Revolutionary War, that's where you guys pretty much stabilized in Wall, Howell, and Silverton. I think
Yes.
it's Silverton. Silverton, which
not-
is no longer Monmouth County. But,
Correct.
Right.
But Silverton was until the 1850s. Ocean County was part of Monmouth County,
Yes.
and I think some of the family was loyalists. They fled after the Revolutionary War. There was a lot of hard feelings.
Yes.
There was a lot of division within families, and whether they lost their properties, I can't document. But a lot of the family had moved southward and located out to Ortley Beach. Yeah. And we married into the Ortley family. My Joseph Clayton married Catherine Hannah Ortley, and who is. Had they stayed in the family, we could be owning oceanfront property.
Darn it. That's unbelievable.
And then it's just, being John Henry Clayton was registered for military. I saw that in the 1800s there. And it's just amazing the way everything evolved and just connected to today's history.
Yes.
You were connected to the War of 1812.
Yes.
You were connected then to the Civil War also.
Correct.
There were Claytons that fought
We had Claytons
in the
that fought in the
Civil War.
Civil War, yes. We had Claytons that were in the Coast Guard that served. One of our Claytons was a mayor over in Seabright and a fireman over there.
Yeah.
It's really great to see how your family kind of stepped up, to serve, whether it was in the military, whether it was in public service, whether it was in, emergency response.
Yes.
It's so many commendable things that your family has been involved in.
Yes.
So you, looking at and reading some of the history there, you had I don't know if it was your father or grandfather, somebody was mayor, but also superintendent of a school.
Oh, that goes back to the.
Or great, that was a long time ago. Or
That was my. The Lairds. That was under my great grandfather Cornelius Clayton's daughter.
Okay. Wow. And so, and the reason I touch on that is because that, and then you had another.
And Laird was the first mayor of Wall Township. Yes.
Yes. Yeah, and, that's amazing.
And I assume they're also associated with Laird's the Applejack,
Exactly.
because there's.
And then
They
Arthur Crumb.
go back,
Arthur
really.
Crumb again. We married into the. Or Adelaide Clayton married Arthur Crumb, who served as mayor.
You just felt like you had to follow in the footsteps. Which is great.
Yes.
And so, this is, I mean, the history here of the family is just remarkable. I mean, I personally, I don't want to speak on behalf of our clerk, Christine, but I mean, I would find it hard-pressed to have another guest or something.
Yeah, I know.
With more history.
I mean,
it's
You're-
amazing.
You're the embodiment of Monmouth County's history through the years.
Yeah.
And I think it's
Fascinating.
important, and we say this, Christine and myself, we've been doing a lot of different things, whether we're speaking to children, or we're speaking to chambers, where we're speaking at different events, or we're doing our shows, History with Hanlon and Arnone, or we're doing these. It's all to get the message out. And more importantly, to get the message out with fun, and then get people in here to give us information. It's not about us delivering everything. When you say it's like this
The
here,
sharing,
people
yeah.
sharing their life
Yes.
stories with us.
Yes.
And their knowledge of Monmouth County's history. Well, I think you need to write a book.
You
if you
too.
haven't done
I'm
it yet.
actually doing that. I'm 150 pages in currently.
Are
Oh,
you
that's
really?
great.
Yes,
I'm
and-
so glad to
So
hear
that's
that.
super.
I
That's
do.
amazing.
It's been a long undertaking, but I would hope to get that out maybe before the July anniversary, if I can.
Yes,
Really?
and you know what's so cool? Like there's so many structures that still exist today that your family connects to in history. Like the Oakley farmhouse, as I said, the Taylor Butler house. There's like different pockets of our history and structures that you can connect to your history. That it's just really fascinating.
And it's got to be somewhat difficult to try to keep it under whatever the version.
Yeah, well, it'd be like 10,000 pages.
I know that's you can get a little crazy with it. Yeah.
No, but I so much appreciate you coming here and sharing this. I have to tell you, I am amazed because I've known you a while, but
Yes.
we don't talk about going back to the 1800s and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, it was 16.
or the
Yeah,
1600s.
1600s, yes.
But it's
Yeah.
amazing because learning to have it's really I have such admiration of you, your family, your history. Just admire so much that you're still here, and more importantly, it really touches me that you served, because it's
you.
like
Yeah.
you read, you learned, and you said, "I'm going to follow suit," and that's really important.
Very important.
Yes.
We thank you so much for
Well,
joining
thank you
us
for
today.
having me. Yes.
Thank you.
Mike Clayton, whose
sharing
family
this.
goes back 334 years in Monmouth County. It's just fascinating.
Yes.
Thanks, Mike.
So-
Great seeing you.
Yeah, great seeing you guys. Thank
Thank you. And good luck with your book.
Yes.
Thank you.